there. Hello. Hello guys, my name is Antos, and in this video I want to show you my Sony A6500 kit, kind of what I carry with me, more specifically though what lenses I use, and even more specifically the two new lenses I got from Sigma.
So we were here hiding in the shade and under this nice tree. Unfortunately it started to rain. There was more and more stuff coming down. Turns out there is this iguana that has something against us in the tree, and so we had to move.
Like the weather here is funny because after shooting in India, this feels like wow, it's so like cool. Like this is how it was in India at night. Breakfast on set in Ecuador.
Donuts and coffee?
Well, not quite. Got the juice.
Orange juice, I think, yeah.
And then bologna. Right?
Bologna. And what's bologna?
Plantain mixed with like cheese, right? Like a big bowl. So very often I get asked what kind of a camera kit I have, and that's really going to depend on the camera that I have. I have the various cameras for different uses. Sony A6500 is a great small little camera for these small run and gun kind of projects, usually where it's pretty much just me by myself, maybe one assistant. Again, because the camera is small and easy to work with. And also because of that, I actually take this with me on pretty much all my family vacations. And everything that I kind of carry with me is actually in this backpack that I have. Everything fits in here. All my lenses, accessories, batteries, and all that stuff, my microphones. Now today I kind of wanted to concentrate more on the lenses and kind of give you advice. Let's say maybe you're thinking about purchasing this camera, or you just got the camera and you're not sure what's the first kind of things you should invest in. Definitely I would say you want a nice set of lenses. So the first lens would be this kit lens. This is the 16 to 50 millimeter Sony lens, and it's not the best, meaning it's not the fastest lens, but it's sharp enough for 4K video. What I love about it is that it's small, as you can see up here, also very light, and the autofocus actually works pretty damn well with this camera. So this is kind of actually my go-to lens whenever I throw this camera up on a gimbal. It just locks on the faces, and I know I'm getting a focus pretty much most of the time spot on. And I would also recommend just getting this lens because especially if you're buying the camera now, let's say, and you see it as a kit, because when you buy this lens as a kit, you're gonna save yourself a lot of money. Now let me dig into my camera bag here, and my second lens that I would recommend is this lens. This is the 55 to 210 zoom lens from Sony, and this is again a kit lens that you can get. I actually got it as a kit, the camera and these two lenses. So if you see this lens, I would definitely recommend that you get it, because this way you're gonna have a nice telephoto lens together with the other lens, and you're pretty much covering your whole focal range, from all the way from 16 millimeter to, like I said, 210. It's not the best telephoto lens, meaning it's not the fastest, but it's decent enough for, I would say, for most of the work, especially when you're outside shooting in daylight. It's stabilized, which is good, and the autofocus works pretty well with this one. The next lens you probably want to get is something that's really fast, so you can shoot in low light situations, that kind of stuff, and also so you can get that nice shallow dramatic depth of field for that bit more of that cinematic look. Sony actually has a pretty affordable 50 millimeter lens that's f1.8. It's actually also a nice focal length. It's actually what I shoot most of my work on, is a 50 millimeter lens. And like I said, it's a decent lens. It's not too big, it's fairly light, and the autofocus together with the A6500 works pretty damn well. So that's probably, I would say, if you want to get into kind of faster, more cinematic looking lenses, but you're still on a budget, this is probably the next lens you want to get. Now, after you got that three lens set that I talked about, probably the next set of lenses you want to get into are basically other focal lengths that are really fast, so f1.8 or even faster. I got actually myself the two lenses from Sigma. First one's this 30mm I want to show you, and it's an f1.4, so pretty damn fast. It's well-built lens, has a nice here ring for the pulling focus, and it's like I said, it's a decent quality lens the way it's built, but also there's the image quality you're gonna get, whether for photos or videos. Now, one thing I'll just tell you about this lens is that it's gonna work with the AF, and I'm gonna show you some examples so you can kind of see for yourself. But it's definitely not as good when it comes to recognizing faces as some of the other Sony lenses, like the kit lens that I have, the 16 to 50mm. It's just not as fast, so sometimes there's like a delay by the time it recognizes the face. Now, thank God this lens doesn't do like a lot of ghosting or shifting like some other lenses or camera systems have a tendency to do. It just kind of slowly goes. Once it finds its focus, it stays on there, but you won't get that weird kind of vibration or distortion. So that is a good thing, but again, if you're looking for a fast lens, like a really fast lens, like an f1.4, that's again on a budget, but also a lens that is gonna allow you to have like kind of spot on out of focus. This is probably not something you want to rely on, because like I said, it's gonna get the focus, but I would say maybe 50% of the time. But I would still recommend this lens. Like I said, it's a decent lens from Sigma, and for this price you can't really go wrong. Like I said, image quality is good. Now, if you want something just as good and just as fast, but with a reliable AF, and Sigma actually recently released another lens from the same line of lenses, and these are both Sony E mount, by the way. And this one's a 16mm f1.4, and I love this lens. I got it from B&H as a loaner, kind of to test it out. And after I've been testing it out, when I went out with my family for a vacation, I couldn't leave it behind. So I ended up purchasing this lens. Actually, this one's actually mine now. And it's great because it has all the other great things of this lens. Nice build, solid and all that stuff. It's actually built even better. It now has a little gasket here, so it's weather sealed. So that's a better thing, in case you're in a weather or basically somewhere where there's a lot of moisture. But the AF on this is actually surprisingly really good. I would say almost on par with the kit Sony lens. So it's most of the time I can rely on this, no problem. And the fact that this is 16mm f1.4, if you throw on an ND on there, you can be outside in broad daylight and getting that really nice shallow depth of field, really up close kind of, and also because it's a 16mm, it's almost a perfect, I would say, vlogging lens, especially combined with this camera, because they're together, it's still relatively small and light. And so I'm not a big vlogger, but I sometimes get kind of just, shots of myself on my home videos. And like I said, this thing is a nice focal length. It gets just wide enough so I can kind of make sure, I know that I'm basically always in frame, but I can get that shallow depth of field, and I'm always in focus. So very, very important thing. And just, overall, there's nothing really bad that I have to say about this lens. So I'm going to show you guys a little video that I shot at the Thomas Edison and Henry Ford Estate in Florida. You guys can kind of check it out. And that whole video was shot with this lens on the Sony a6500 and the Moswa Air gimbal.
Well, I have a wonderful electronic invention I want you to see. It looks something like this.
So hopefully you guys agreed with me and you liked this lens or the quality that this produces as much as I did. Like I said, it's if you want something that's on a budget but very fast, affordable, and just good quality lens, the Sigma I think is way better option to some of the Sony G lenses. Now this is not gonna obviously cover a full frame. This is meant for their smaller APS-C size sensors, both of their Sony, both of these Sigma lenses, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, that's I think with this set of lenses I'm pretty much set. That doesn't mean that I won't be using maybe some other cinema lenses if I'm doing like a bigger project. But usually when I'm shooting with the Sony a6500, these are the lenses that I'm gonna have. And then that's all that I really carry with me. Now, aside from that, in my camera bag, I actually have two different microphones, one from Asden and the other one is actually from Rode. I have my battery charger, my batteries, I have a remote control for it, I have batteries for my monitor, I have a portable monitor here. I also have portable battery banks that I can use it to both power the camera and some other accessories. I have a hard drive, I have all my cards here. What else I have there? And then just various cables, extra batteries and things like that, memory cards. So, and everything here fits in my bag nicely and it's not too heavy, and that's pretty much what I use when I travel. When I get good quality home videos, or even when I do, like I said, those smaller jobs where it's like a one-man team pretty much. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you click thumbs up, share this video, and if you haven't already, subscribe because I'm going to be releasing more fun, cool videos. In the meantime, also you can check out my website at tomantosfilms.com for some of the other stuff that I've done before, filmmaking gear reviews, tutorials, and that kind of stuff. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Baila, 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 baila.
Okay. So yeah, so look, you can have it like this.
Estamos grabando todo, dale, dale. Yo sé.
And then look, and I can come closer.
Yeah, we can start on 16, right?
Yeah.
The wide angle, super wide, and then we can go other side.
Or if you want, just for the wide angle, I'll do it like that. And then for the close up, yeah, stay here.